The Ghost Festival, also known as the Hungry Ghost Festival in modern day, Zhong Yuan Jie Yu Lan Jie, is a traditional Buddhist and Taoist festival held in Asian countries. In the Chinese calendar, the Ghost Festival is on the 15th night of the 7th month. In Chinese culture, the 15th day of the 7th month in the lunar calendar is called Ghost Day, and the 7th month in general is regarded as the Ghost Month, in which ghosts and spirits, including those of the deceased ancestors, come out from the lower realm. Distinct from both the Qingming festival and Double Ninth festival, in which living descendants pay homage to the deceased ancestors. During Ghost Festival, the deceased are believed to visit the living. On the 15th day, the realms of heaven and hell and the realm of the living are open, and both Taoists and Buddhists would perform rituals to transmute and absolve the sufferings of the deceased. Intrinsic to the Ghost Month is veneration of the dead, where traditionally the filial piety of descendants extends to their ancestors even after their deaths. Activities during the month would include preparing ritualistic food offerings, burning incense, and burning joss paper, a papier-mâché form of material items such as clothes, gold and other fine goods for the visiting spirits of the ancestors. Elaborate meals would be served with empty seats for each of the deceased in the family, treating the deceased as if they are still living. Ancestor worship is what distinguishes Qingming Festival from Ghost Festival, because the latter includes paying respects to all deceased, including the same and younger generations, while the former only includes older generations. Other festivities may include buying and releasing miniature paper boats and lanterns on water, which signifies giving directions to the lost ghosts and spirits of the ancestors and other deities. Origins. Buddhists from China claim that the Ghost Festival originated with the canonical scriptures of Buddhism, but many of the visible aspects of the ceremonies originate from Chinese folk religion and other local folk traditions. This process of syncretism is not limited to China. The Ghost Festival has parallels in Theravada Buddhism, such as the Cambodian Phom Festival, reflecting the same assumptions about an annual opening of the gates of hell, and with the same role of King Yama. In Tang Dynasty China, the Buddhist festival Alambana and the Ghost Festival were mixed and celebrated together. Alambana origin. The Buddha's joyful day to Mahayana Buddhists, the 7th lunar month is a month of joy. This is because the 15th day of the 7th month is often known as the Buddha's joyful day and the day of rejoicing for monks. The origins of the Buddha's joyful day can be found in various scriptures. When the Buddha was alive, his disciples meditated in the forests of India during the rainy season of summer. 3 months later, on the 15th day of the 7th month, they would emerge from the forest to celebrate the completion of the meditation and report the progress to the Buddha. In the Alambana Sutra, the Buddha instructs his disciple Maudgalyayana on how to obtain liberation for his mother, who had been reborn into a lower realm, by making food offerings to the Sangha on the 15th day of the 7th month. Because the number of monks who attained enlightenment during that period was high, the Buddha was very pleased. Maudgalyayana and his mother. The Buddhist origins of the festival can be traced back to a story that originally came from India, but later took on culturally Chinese overtones, as the motifs all appear in a tale that had already been translated into Chinese by the end of the 4th century. In the Alambana Sutra, there is a descriptive account of a Buddhist monk named Maudgalyayana, originally a Brahmin youth who later ordained, and later becoming one of the Buddha's chief disciples. Maudgalyayana was also known for having clairvoyant powers, an uncommon trait amongst monks. The tale is contained in a canonical collection of short sutras translated into Chinese by Gautama Samhadeva between 397 and 398. After he attained arhatship, he began to think deeply of his parents and wondered what happened to them. He used his clairvoyance to see where they were reborn and found his father in the heavenly realms, i.e. the realm of the gods. However, his mother had been reborn in a lower realm, known as Avicii, or the realm of hungry ghosts. His mother took on the form of a hungry ghost, so called because it could not eat due to its highly thin and fragile throat in which no food could pass through. Yet it was always hungry because it had a fat belly. His mother had been greedy with the money he left her. He had instructed her to kindly host any Buddhist monks that ever came her way, but instead she withheld her kindness and her money. It was for this reason she was reborn in the realm of hungry ghosts. Maudgalyayana eased his mother's suffering by receiving the instructions of feeding pretas from the Buddha. The Buddha instructed Maudgalyayana to place pieces of food on a clean plate, reciting a mantra 7 times to bless the food, snap his fingers to call out to the deceased, and finally dip the food onto clean ground. By doing so, the preta's hunger would be relieved. Through these merits, his mother was able to be reborn as a dog under the care of a noble family. Maudgalyayana then sought the Buddha's advice to help his mother gain a human birth. The Buddha established a day after the traditional summer retreat on which Maudgalyayana was to offer food and robes to 500 bhikkhus. Through the merits created, Maudgalyayana's mother finally gained a human birth. Religious festivities. The Ghost Festival is held during the 7th month of the Chinese calendar. It also falls at the same time as a full moon, the new season, the full harvest, the peak of Buddhist monastic asceticism, the rebirth of ancestors, and the assembly of the local community. During this month, the gates of hell are opened up and ghosts are free to roam the earth, where they seek food and entertainment. These ghosts are believed to be ancestors of those who forgot to pay tribute to them after they died, or those who were never given a proper ritual send-off. They have long needle-thin necks because they have not been fed by the family, or as a punishment so that they are unable to swallow. Family members offer prayers to the deceased relatives, offer food and drink, and burn hell banknotes and other forms of joss paper. Joss paper items are believed to have value in the afterlife, considered to be very similar in some aspects to the material world. People burn paper houses, cars, servants and televisions to please the ghosts. Families also pay tribute to other unknown wandering ghosts so that these homeless souls do not intrude on the lives and bring misfortune. A large feast is held for the ghosts on the 14th day of the 7th month, when people bring samples of food and place them on an offering table to please the ghosts and ward off bad luck. Lotus-shaped lanterns are lit and set afloat in rivers and out onto seas to symbolically guide the lost souls of forgotten ancestors to the afterlife. In some East Asian countries today, live performances are held and everyone is invited to attend. The first row of seats are always empty, as this is where the ghosts sit. The shows are always put on at night and at high volumes, as the sound is believed to attract and please the ghosts. Some shows include Chinese opera, dramas, and in some areas, even burlesque shows. Traditionally, Chinese opera was the main source of entertainment, but the newer shows, concerts, dramas, wars and so forth are referred to as getai. These acts are better known as merrymaking. For rituals, Buddhists and Taoists hold ceremonies to relieve ghosts from suffering, many of them holding ceremonies in the afternoon or at night. Altars are built for the deceased, and priests and monks alike perform rituals for the benefit of ghosts. Monks and priests often throw rice or other small foods into the air in all directions to distribute them to the ghosts. During the evening, incense is burnt in front of the doors. Household worlds. Incense stands for prosperity in Chinese culture, so families believe that there is more prosperity in burning more incense. During the festival, some shops are closed as they want to leave the streets open for the ghosts. In the middle of each street stands an altar of incense with fresh fruit and sacrifices displayed on it. 14 days after the festival, to make sure all the hungry ghosts find the way back to hell, people float water lanterns and set them outside the houses. These lanterns are made by setting a lotus flower-shaped lantern on a paper boat. The lanterns are used to direct the ghosts back to the underworld, and when they go out, it symbolizes that they have found the way back. Taboos. As the ghosts and the suffering spirits will come out from the hell to visit the homes during the 7th lunar month, many things should be avoided during this month, including the ghost day. Do not stroll at night. Do not swim. It is said that drowned evil ghosts might try to drown people in order to find victims for them to rebirth. As the month is considered to be inauspicious, do not move to a new house, start new businesses, or marry. Do not hang clothes outside at night. Do not pick up coins or money found on the street, and if one does, never bring any home. Do not step on or kick the offerings by the roadside. If someone were to step on any offerings by accident, he or she should apologize aloud to ameliorate the situation. Do not wear red because ghosts are attracted to red. Don't sing and whistle, as these may attract ghosts. Keep away from the walls, as it is believed that ghosts like sticking to walls. If someone is born during the ghost month, avoid celebrating his or her birthday at night. It is better to celebrate during the daytime. Do not go out at 12 midnight, as the ghosts may approach you for food and other offerings for them. Do not open umbrellas in the house. It may attract spirits. Do not take selfies or take videos. Ghosts may appear in it. You may never know. Do not sleep facing the mirror, something reflective. It guides the ghosts. Singapore and Malaysia. Concert-like performances are a prominent feature of the Ghost Festival in Singapore and Malaysia. Those live concerts are popularly known as Getai Kotai by Hokkien-speaking people. They are performed by groups of singers, dancers and entertainers on a temporary stage that is set up within a residential district. The festival is funded by the residents of each individual district. During one of these Getai, it is known to be bad luck to sit on the front row of red seats, as they are there only for the ghosts themselves. If anyone were to sit on them, they would become sick as such luck. Taiwan Ghost Month. Traditionally, it is believed that ghosts haunt the island of Taiwan for the entire 7th lunar month when the Midsummer Ghost Festival is held. The month is known as Ghost Month. The first day of the month is marked by opening the gate of a temple, symbolizing the gates of hell. On the 12th day, lamps on the main altar are lit. On the 13th day, a procession of lanterns is held. On the 14th day, a parade is held for releasing water lanterns. Incense and food are offered to the spirits to avoid them visiting homes, and spirit paper money is also burnt as an offering. During the month, people avoid surgery, buying cars, swimming, and going out after dark. It is also important that addresses are not revealed to the ghosts. Japan, Chugan and Bon. Chugan, also Okugan, is an annual event in Japan on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, when people give gifts to their superiors and acquaintances. Originally it was an annual event for giving gifts to the ancestral spirits, one of the 3 days that formed the Sangan of Daoism. It is sometimes considered a sasetsu, a type of seasonal day in the Japanese calendar. Bon, or simply Bon, is the Japanese version of the Ghost Festival. It has since been transformed over time into a family reunion holiday during which people from the big cities return to the hometowns and visit and clean the resting places of their ancestors, traditionally including a dance festival called Bon Odori. Obon has existed in Japan for more than 500 years. In modern Japan, it is held on July 15th in the eastern part, on August 15th in the western part, and in Okinawa and the Amami Islands it is celebrated as in China on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. Vietnam, Thetruthaboutfgs. This festival is viewed as the time for the pardoning of condemned souls who are then released from hell. The homeless should be fed and appeased with offerings of food. Merits for the living are also earned by the release of birds and fish. The lunar month in which the festival takes place is colloquially known as Thang Ohon, the month of lonely spirits, and believed to be haunted and particularly unlucky. Influenced by Buddhism, this holiday coincides with Vu Lan, the Vietnamese transliteration for Alambarana. In modern times, Vu Lan is also seen as Mother's Day. People with living mothers would bear a red rose and would give thanks, while those without can choose to bear a white rose, and attend services to pray for the deceased.